everybody, welcome back to our CGTN official live stream. I'm Myrna coming to you live from our Beijing studio and headquarters. We are streaming currently live on various CGTN platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, X, Chinese platforms of WeChat, and of course, Bilibili and CGTN's official platforms. So to mark the 75th anniversary of the founding of the PRC, CGTN launched a very special coverage, which is the way to modernization. Over the past 20 days, a bunch of our reporters, anchors, and teams have went across 5 routes in China. They have seen a lot of stories, they have gathered a lot of reports, and today we're gonna say hello to them so we can get an inside peek of what happened during all these past 20 days. So we're gonna say hello to them. They're all joining me online. Let's start with Lincoln. Hello. Can we see everybody right now? I think everyone is on. All right, everybody say hello.
Hello.
Hello, Nina. How you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
All right, so we'll start with a small self-intro, and can you tell me where you're at? Hey, okay, this has been a very fun intro. All right, let's start with our self-intros. Lincoln, you go first.
Hi, yeah, I'm Lincoln Humphreys. I'm here smack bang in the middle of Shenyang CBD. Spent the day at the Imperial Palace of the Qing Dynasty here in Shenyang. We've been doing a big tour of the last 3 weeks or so of almost the entirety of Dongbei, the northeast of China. Started in Changchun, went all the way around down to Dalian, Siping City, Lishu County. Nice to get out in the country. And I'll have more to say about that in just a moment.
All right, well, me and you were on the same route together, so we're really excited to get to know more about that later. All right, who's our next friend saying hello?
It's me, Mike Walter. I'm in Guangzhou. I spent last night, I think I've logged about 6 miles walking all around Guangzhou. It's beautiful, beautiful city. And of course, with the holiday, so many people out and enjoying their time here. And it's great to see Gas here because I started out this journey alongside her on the eastern route and then moved to the southern route. And it's been an amazing couple of weeks. And of course, we can talk about that more further. But that's my key word, amazing.
Amazing. All right, Mike, I must say, we all, like when we saw you come online during reports, I think you don't know a lot of us, but so many of us know who you are. And then when you came online, everyone's like, Mike's here, or Mike's in China. So how did that feel? Tell us, were you excited to see us as well?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I love coming to China, and it's been my second trip so far this year. I just got back and got unpacked, and then they said, "You want to go back again?" And of course, the answer is yes. I got to work on a great project with Gas in May and June, traveling all over China for the series we did, Race to the Future, which I thought turned out wonderfully, and I'm really excited to have been a part of that and this as well. It's just been a great, great experience.
Awesome, awesome. All right, we have 2 friends saying hello to us together. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, you start first.
Okay, well, we're on the Jingshui River. You can just see behind us right now the historic 600-year-old port town of Shansi. We've been enjoying ourselves out here in Western China, and currently we're having a delightful day on the river on a boat.
Yeah, and I think it's totally different from where we live, because you live in Beijing, I live in Shanghai. So the places we've traveled are very different from the cities. We've been to deserts, we've been to mountainous areas, and you jump into the pond to catch a fish. So a very interesting experience over the past 20 days. Yeah.
All right, awesome. And who is this lovely gentleman who is right in front of me on the screen? Zhongshi, say hello to everyone.
Hi, everyone. Let me just quickly say a happy holidays to everyone. It's wonderful that all of us from the 5 routes are finally coming up together. I'm actually in the suburbs of Beijing trying to catch up on some quality time with friends and family. You know, spending money on rural economy. Let's all pitch in, spending some of that hard-earned money during the holiday. Good for the economy, good for our mental and physical health. Although I need to point out that some of you are not dressed properly for the holiday at all. Lincoln and Mike, get rid of that shirt and tie immediately. And Lincoln, keep that pocket square you found in the Northeast. Really pulled off those flowery outfits. Myrna, would you agree?
I super agree. I must say, I mean, we're all coming from different backgrounds right now, but I think that's kind of beautiful. Basically, everyone in their zone. As you can see, Mike is probably more comfortable in our big CGTN background zone, right?
This is my standard uniform. I almost go to bed in a suit every night, so it's hard for me to shed the suit and tie. And I brought it, and I was like, it's my last day. I'm going to wear it. So.
Speaking of fashion and like dashing outfits, Gas, you're looking lovely today, lighting up our screen. So please say hello to everyone.
Thank you. But I gotta agree with Chongshu. Mike and Lincoln are putting us to shame. Well, I'm here at a very busy street in Shanghai. I'm actually sitting at a cafe, and I will tell you why I'm sitting in a cafe later on when I'm sharing my experiences. But our team took the eastern route, which covered Suzhou, Zhejiang province, and Shanghai, where I'm at now. So I'm looking forward to sharing those experiences with you, Mana, and to the rest of our viewers.
Awesome. I think this intro alone was already super exciting when we haven't even begun like our conversation. All right, so we said hello to everyone. We're all in different places. If I can ask you each to wrap up your entire trip, to summarize your journey in one word, what would that word be? Lincoln, I'm starting with you.
Fashion, fashion, fashion. I'm answering for Lincoln.
Fashion.
Because I didn't hear him.
Chongshu, you're on a roll.
Fashion. He already knows fashion. Oh.
Did we lose Lincoln? I didn't hear anything. But
yes,
let's see. Let's say people on the north route, when they were in the Northeast, they really pulled off some incredible local fashion there with those outfits, and it's difficult. And they really sort of rose up to the challenge. Mike, did you see the outfits that they wore?
No, I've been too busy working. I wish I could. That's my one regret about this whole thing is I wish I could have experienced all the different routes, but I was busy traveling them and not being able to watch. So unfortunately.
That's too bad. That's incredible local fashion in the Northeast. I had a really good time looking at just what they, pulled off. It's incredible.
Well, I must say, I think I also can't hear Lincoln, but I think it's because like it's very vibrant around him and lots of people. Oh, I think we can hear him now. Lincoln, are you back with us?
The magic of television.
From the car factory.
I think as
feel so
said,
bad.
the bedazzling.
I feel so bad for him because Lincoln can't even defend himself when we were talking about his outfits.
I'm sure he's gonna tune in to our CGTN live stream again and hear you, Joshua. All right, we're gonna let Lincoln see if he can hear us again. Lincoln.
Technology,
right,
I'm telling you, it's a signal issue, I think.
Mike, I think you shared earlier that your keyword was amazing. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, it's so funny. When I came here in May and June, when I was working on the series Race to the Future, I kept saying, man, this is amazing. And the crew got kind of tired of me saying amazing. So I was trying to think of something else. But here I am again saying amazing. It's just because I just look at China and the speed of the transformation. I think my first trip here, I think it was in 2013, and just it's almost like it's technology on steroids, just watching it just kind of advance. But then, the great thing about working with Gas in the Eastern route was watching Angie County where, they had problems with pollution, and the form of the economy there was all about limestone mining, which wasn't great for the environment. And it was great for bricks and cement, but again, just bad for the environment and creating a lot of pollution. But now they're leaning on bamboo and ecotourism, and it's just so cool to see, the change. And it's so lush and so beautiful, and it had so many people visiting. Ecotourism just really huge there. So I think that was really a cool aspect of this trip. And I think Jess would agree with me.
Absolutely. I do. Can I jump in now?
Yeah,
Of
absolutely. Why
course.
not?
Okay. So for me, I think it was a very enriching trip. Like Mike was saying, I did the Race to the Future documentary with him. And so I had not covered the Eastern route during that part of the trip. I think Mike was more on Shanghai. He went to the Peace Hotel, which was a great video on him on that one. So this trip for me was Eastern route, which I had not covered before. That documentary as well looked at all the changes and progress that China has made over the last 75 years. So this trip looked at the same thing, but on the Eastern route, which was very enriching for me to see all the developments that China has made over the last 75 years. I think it was a learning process for me. One thing I would say is I was really impressed with was China's rural revitalization program, which I can elaborate further while our show gets on.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. I must say that it's really fun that since we have so many different backgrounds, we can see what's happening. Like, don't you agree? We can see behind gas, there's people walking, behind Lincoln, and
Definitely.
feel it. And Chen Tong, what is behind you? There's a beautiful view. Can you tell us more about that? Where are you
This
right
is
now?
Shense. This is Shense, the port city
Ah.
I was telling you about. 600 years worth of history. And what I've been really nervous about is all day long as we've been pottering around up here, up and down on the river, every so often, because there are canoeists going up and down on the river and people in little motorboats as well. And every so often, one of them, of course, sheer statistics, is going to be bad at driving and they keep banging into the side of the boat. And so I've just been very, very pleased that at no point during the middle of a hit or a broadcast like this, suddenly somebody banged into the side of the boat, suddenly had an altercation out through the window. So it's sort of as you try and push another boat away. But anyway, you were asking about words and the kinds of things that were going on. I'm going to have to agree with Mike here, but I can't steal amazing because Mike's already grabbed it, and I'm slightly less erudite than Mike, and obviously slightly less well dressed. So I'm going to have to go with wow. So there we go. Nice and easy. Pop culture, just whoa or wow. And I think you've actually got a little bit of a video that you can show, but we'll see if it works. The technology's not been helping us out and really been our friend today so far. We'll see how it works out. Have you got that B-roll to show of some of the clips of some of the things that Tong and I have been up to?
Yes, of course, of course. And we will get to it right in the moment after we get to the keyword of 忠实.
I just had a blast because poor Lincoln, clueless as to what was going on. And he obviously had a lot to share. He had a lot to say at a very busy intersection there in Shenyang. He kept on talking. This is what happens, Myrna, when you have a full room of on-air personalities joining. Everyone can talk a mountain. And for me, the keyword really is immersive. That's sort of just the vibe that I got from traveling to Henan. I mean, tourism obviously is a big pillar of the local economy there, and they're trying to build a reputation and a brand around bringing that immersive experience to have whoever comes to Henan and to tourist cities like Kaifeng and Luoyang. What does that even mean? I mean, when you walk on the streets of Luoyang, people are dressed up. People are dressed up in Hanfu, the traditional Chinese clothing, and they go everywhere in Hanfu. You see people on scooters, waiting at bus stops, in restaurants. Everyone is comfortable, sort of just walking back in time and really putting on that full hair and makeup, huge hair in front of you, eating noodles and the local soup, and everyone is super comfortable. And that's the type of experience Henan tourism officials, local officials are really trying to offer to out-of-towners. And I was very struck by how clear-headed they are, by how unique they are in their strategies in developing the local tourism economy. They're like, oh, we did look at other success stories like Harbin, which was a sensation last year. They looked at Zibo, which did incredible. But they're like, we're not going to copy their models and their success stories because we are worried they could be short-lived. They want to be very sustainable in their tourism brand, and that's why they're doing this whole experience thing, and they want to be sustainable, and that's really very impressive. And when I talk to tourists that come to Henan specifically for that experience, they're like, you can't get it anywhere else. Here, people don't look at you in a weird way. Nobody cares what you dressed or nobody cares about how crazy your hair and makeup looks. Everyone is comfortable. It's free to walk in that time capsule that sends you back to ancient China. Luoyang is the capital of ancient China dynasties, numerous Chinese dynasties, and people just have a great time there going back in time machine. Immersive, definitely.
Beautiful. Oh, I feel like you guys have shared a lot about your experience, but asking you to wrap it up in one word is really hard because obviously, other than seeing your videos and your reports, it really looked fun. Like I was on the Northeastern Road, but I had a lot of fun. But every time I saw something from each road, I was like, wow, that would also be fun if I went on there. All right, so Lincoln, I want to see if we have Lincoln back again because for Lincoln, we lost him earlier.
That's what happens when you
Oh.
wear a suit. You have trouble actually speaking to people.
Spot
Everybody who's
on,
sitting in
Mike,
cars and
spot
just hanging
on.
out on the river and just at
Spot
a
on.
cafe, no problem. I'm probably going to be the next one to go. So,
Oh my God. I feel like once Lincoln gets back online with us, we're gonna have a lot of interesting stories.
you know,
All right,
Marta, if
so
I can throw out
since
another
yes,
word because I was challenged when he said wow and whoa. I'm going to throw out another word, and I think everybody's going to agree with me, and that's full. I have never had so many great meals in all my life. That's the other great thing is you just like,
We also have
Gas,
some
you'll agree we had lunch
Different
together. It's just like,
cuisines.
oh my God, the cuisine and the conversations, those will be things that I'll remember. That's not what ends up on the
Yeah.
air, but I'll tell you, those are things I'll definitely remember for a long time to come. Just great, great memories.
Can I just
absolutely.
back
Well, Mike,
up?
I know.
Can I just back
Yes.
up the difficulty of Lincoln's position? Tong and I had a very similar situation up in the mountains when we were in one of the now villages,
Yeah.
village called Langda, and we were just about to go to air, and suddenly, immediately as we go on air, they start letting off fireworks for a funeral. And, and then
Oh my
that
God.
went
Oh
on
no.
that went on for about 10 minutes. And so we're trying to cover for that. And oh, by the way, you can see how, there's fireworks going on around us. And then as we were going into it, suddenly our line dropped dead, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But it was great. Like there are some signal problems, but the life was great. And by the way, we've also seen bamboos because I remember like Mike and Gas. They mentioned that they've seen bamboos in the Yangtze River Delta region, but we've also seen bamboos. And of course, we've seen pandas.
Bamboo and pandas.
So don't
Gotta
be
have the
jealous.
pair.
All right. Mike, I am sorry because I heard that you're not staying with us for long in this live stream. You're gonna have to exit soon. So before you exit, we still want to hear so much more about your journey and everything. So if you can tell me, what was one memory of your entire trip that really left an impression on you? Like you feel like this was spot on the number one impression I had about something, or I'll always
You know
remember.
what? You know what? I know that it's unfair to answer your question this way, but I don't think I can just pick just one. But I will pick one word, which is versatility. It was interesting listening to a community talking about, well, maybe we don't want to do what Harbin did or whatever. And that's one of the things that I found really interesting is each one of these areas that I went to, they've carved out some kind of economic way forward that's unique, but it works for that community. And I think that's what's really interesting. I interviewed an author years ago for Full Frame who actually investigated, poverty reduction in China. Why did it work? And one of the things she told me that she was really surprised at was that there wasn't a one size fits all approach, that each municipality kind of had their own approach to fighting poverty and coming up with a solution. And that's really what we're seeing here too. And I think that also the embracing of green with bamboo, ecotourism. We went to Zhuzhou and we're looking at electric locomotives. And they're creating these locomotives and they're sending them around the world. They're on 6 continents now in 50 countries. But what they're doing with these locomotives, I thought it was genius. Not everybody's in the same place where they can go with electric locomotives. Some are still in internal combustion. So they have these modular capabilities where you can actually have your engine, which is internal combustion. But hey, you're ready to make the shift to electric. You just pull it out. It can be replaced in 2 days with electric, or you can go with the hybrid. And so that's one of the things that I really liked about this trip was just kind of the embracing green technology and coming up with solutions. Obviously, when you think about climate change, it's not just something that's facing China, it's facing the world. And seeing China's approach to it, I think, is really a model that other countries can look to. And I found that really interesting. So versatility, I think, is another word that I really like when I think about my
Versatility.
trip here. Yeah.
I've also watched your live stream with Tang Bo. That was a very fun live stream to watch.
Yeah. He's like working with Steven Spielberg. He's got everything choreographed. We're moving here, we're moving there. We've got coffee, and we, like it was crazy, but it was a lot of fun. It was great working with him. Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. Well, as I said in the beginning of our live stream, you have a big CGTN family that everyone's so excited to know that you're in China. So tell me a bit more. How did it feel this time working with people from different departments? Since on the team we had people joining from all different departments.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I think, obviously, I've got the language barrier. I know a few words in Chinese, very few. But I always think that, a smile is that language that, and food and just sitting there and smiling at one another and kind of trying to follow what the conversation is, and then, the staff was just fantastic. I worked with a bunch of people in the Eastern route, and then I ended up with the people in the Southern route, but very welcoming, made me feel right at home. And it was another great experience in China for me.
Oh, that's awesome. And we're really honored to have you right here on our wrap-up live stream. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And hopefully we'll have you more with us here in the headquarters or on different routes in the future so we can join on more projects together. So to all our audience watching, we're all saying goodbye to Mike because he is on to other things.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good luck, Lincoln.
See you soon.
Do us proud. You're the other guy with the suit, so I'm counting on you.
See you, Mike. Thank you so much. All right, now
Bye-bye.
we are going to Philip and Chen Tong.
Hello. So I think one keyword. Hey, so one keyword I want to share is diverse, because as I mentioned earlier, Philip has been living in Beijing for months, so it's his very first time to travel out of Beijing. And I've always been in Shanghai, and I've never been to so many different places, desert, mountainous areas, and I've never having so many spicy food for 20 days, which I could probably not tolerate anymore.
40 days of, would you like chili with that, or would you like a lot of chili with that?
Yeah, but still, I think
oh my God,
is really fun. Yeah.
Well, that sounds so
I'm
exciting.
back. What did I miss?
This is what I'm saying. This is the fantastic thing about our live stream, is that you guys finished your big reporting duties, and then on our live streams you can just let loose, relax, and then one is gone and one is back again.
We're not letting loose. The technology is giving up on us today for some reason. What's happening?
Definitely.
Is Lincoln back? Is Mike still here?
Mike has left us.
No,
We
back
said goodbye to Mike.
yeah.
But
So
we do
the
have
gentlemen
something.
in suits are not with
We
us
still have
anymore.
Lincoln in the suit. All right, so before we get into, I feel like technology is going to help us on our next thing, which is a video from Philip and Chen Tong that are going to share with us about their journeys.
Yay! So the video is playing, right?
Nope, I don't think the video.
Welcome to Dongbei. Manufacturing there. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
I'm gonna get an umbrella.
It's okay. That's the beauty of live. That's the beauty of live television.
So our audience got a glimpse of the fantastic journey Philip and Chentong had. So now it's time for you guys to tell us more. What don't we know about your trip? We want to know all the little details.
Tom, go for it.
We've been to so many different places, but I think the most impressive one is at the Mogao Caves. Mogao Caves is listed on the UNESCO's culture heritage list, and it has it has a history of hundreds of years. But going to Mogao Caves, seeing the real Mogao Caves really impresses a lot because we talked to the Dunhuang Academy, the guy who is in charge of the protection of the Mogao Caves. He has done a lot in the cultural protection of the Mogao Caves. And yes, and they've also been using a lot of technologies. They've invented the so-called, I don't remember the name, but like it's a lab which can simulate the weather conditions of the 4 seasons and which can allow these researchers to learn how the soil reacts under different weather conditions. And this technology are really helping these researchers to know more about Morgao caves and allowing them to give out a better way to protect this heritage. What do you think?
Right, for those who don't quite know, the Mogao Caves are 735 caves. They're just outside Dunhuang, which is up right on the border of the Gobi Desert. It used to be known as the throat of the ancient Silk Road. So this was the last oasis into or out of the country, depending on which way you were going on the ancient Silk Road. And the Mogao Caves were sort of hidden a little bit away from that. And you can think of it as a little bit like China's version of Petra. This was a group of monks who disappeared off into the desert, found themselves their own little river and water supply, and then over the course of 1,600 years, carved out by hand and then painted these caves. And one of the cool things about the caves is it wasn't simply a local project. They pulled in people from across the region and then across the known world as far as they were concerned. So artisans were pulled in from as far across as what today would be considered Pakistan, what today would be considered India, at the time the Indus River Valley civilization, Turkmenistan, right the way up through to an ancient region known as Kolkis, which is the eastern shores of the Black Sea, as we would call it today. Now, as Tong was mentioning, we got to interview a man called Dr. Zhang. He's the deputy director of the Donghuang Academy. He's in charge of looking after the caves. And I was talking to him about the caves. And allegedly, the way that the caves are presented online is that they're a combination of Taoist symbolism, Buddhist symbolism, small smattering of Hindu symbolism as well, because as I mentioned, people came up from Pakistan and they came up from India to work on these caves as well, but also Confucianism as well. And as I was talking to him, the moment the camera stopped rolling, because obviously I'm not a historian, I'm not an archaeologist, I'm not an expert, I'm just some moron journalist. And as I'm talking to Dr. Zhang, I said, look, you'll have to forgive me and please tell me to shut up if I'm being an idiot. But that set of symbols over there doesn't look like any kind of Confucianism or Taoism or Hinduism that I know of. That looks like ancient Greek symbolism, and that simply isn't possible because everybody knows there was no contact between the ancient Romans, the ancient Greeks, and the ancient Chinese. And he got super excited. I mean, big, broad grin across his face because he and his team had just written 2 papers on the subject of the fact that, yes, there was indeed a lot of ancient Greek symbolism smattered all over this cave. Now, I mentioned the eastern shores of the Black Sea was an area in ancient times called Kolkis. If you know your ancient Greek legends, that's the land that Jason and the Argonauts sailed to in order to pick up the golden fleece. So I asked him, is that why it was there? Kolkis, the Scythians were out here in Donghuang. And he said, no. Because Alexander the Great went down through the Indus River Valley civilization. And then slowly over 400 years, ancient Greek mythology percolated through ancient China. This is brand new archaeology that he was sharing with us. And we were very, very fortunate to be in his presence and looking at the caves and having this discussion with this man who's clearly an extremely smart guy.
Lincoln is
Absolutely.
messing with us again.
I love what you said, Philip, about
I
like the
can't
resemblance to
believe how little
Petra,
he's
because I was in
contributing to this
Petra a
live
few
stream,
months
but
ago. So
constantly
I think such a beautiful resemblance, and the fact that
messing
I
with
haven't been there
us.
yet. So the next time if I get the chance to go, I'll definitely try and see the resembling points between Petra and over there. But thank you for sharing all this information with us. We got to see your video. We got to see you in the desert. It looked like you were having a really good time.
It was enormously good fun.
Someone else that looked like
We're
they
not-
had a really good time, Gas. I've seen that you had coffee involved, you had hairy crabs involved, you had a thunderstorm. Tell me more. How was the experience for you?
And the trip was very good, but yes, you're right. We were caught in a bit of a typhoon the first few days when we arrived in Suzhou. But I mean, I've never experienced a typhoon before, so it was a very interesting experience. A bit scary, but my team was, I mean, I was just amazed at their resilience. They took charge, they sent out reports to Beijing on the typhoon. So that was very, very good. It was nice to see the team come together, a strong teamwork. The entire trip for me, I think it was, as I said earlier, was very, very enriching. So I went to, as I said, Suzhou, Zhejiang province in Shanghai. One thing that really stood out for me is China's rural revitalization program. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I can't believe how people's lives are being changed under this program. It's just remarkable. I've been to a few rural areas in China during my time here in China. And like example, Liangshan Yi Autonomous Prefecture, and then Wuxi Tunchun village. But something about this village that I visited in Deqing County, Wuxi village, it was really impressive. It is the first in Zhejiang province to use a digital platform for rural governance. And it also places a lot of importance on ecological protection. And that, for me, was the highlight, the way it is changing people's lives, with digital governance. It was very impressive. And one thing I have to tell you, I spoke to a few young people from Deqing County, and what I found very interesting from them is that they were born in Deqing County, but they were working in big cities like, Shanghai, Beijing, and some were even studied abroad. But they chose to come back home to Deqing County because they saw a lot of employment opportunities there, and also because of the ecological environment. That, for me, I think is one of my highlights, as I said, of the trip. And of course,
And I miss coffee. We miss coffee.
yeah, if you're talking about
There are
coffee,
loads.
The coffee is like the best thing.
yes,
All right,
that is
guys,
why
I
I'm
think
sitting
we
out
need
at a
to-
cafe, in Shanghai.
Villages in the mountains. It's terrible.
I think we need to throw our hands up, all of us. As Zhongshi said, is Lincoln back with us?
Yes, I am. If you can hear me, I can
Are
hear
you
you.
back? Oh,
Lincoln,
oh my God.
we said wonderful
We have
things
been-
about you behind your back.
So much good content.
So you should.
You definitely need to look back. All right, so I'm gonna, Zhongshi, if you don't mind me going first to Lincoln, since we finally have him back. I hope we continue to have him for
Absolutely
this
not.
period.
We don't know when we're
All
going
right.
to lose him again. Go to him first.
Thank you so much. Okay, Lincoln. So we were on the same trip together in the Northeast. I have been with you on some of the reporting
Yes,
duties,
indeed.
but can you give us a big overview on what you thought left the biggest impression on you during this trip?
Oh gosh, I think it's the diversity that we got to see around all of Dongbei. We started in Changchun. First of all, the first automobile was to see the foundation of Chinese vehicle manufacturing and take a look at some traditional old trucks, the CA10 and the old workshop. It's still in use there. They're still managing to pump out the vehicles in that same workshop in the same place that has been in operation since the mid-50s. We also got to see the high-tech manufacturing there as well, pumping out the ultra-modern heavy vehicles. And I got to sit behind the wheel of one of the big bad J7 700 heavy-duty, heavy commercial vehicles there. This journey to modernization is going to be on the back of big bad vehicles like that. So that was really fun to get behind the wheel. They didn't let me drive it, which is very disappointing, but probably safe for everyone involved, including myself. But then to get to the countryside, to get out of the cities. I've only been in China now for a couple of months, but most of that time has been spent in the big cities. So it was nice to join you men out there in the countryside, get some nice clean air, check out the corn farms, and learn about that Lishu method. Now they're looking after that rich, nutrient-dense Chernobyl black soil they've got there in Jilin Province, Lishu County. And that was really fun to learn about that. Being a country boy myself, born and raised in the rural regions of Australia, it was nice to get back amongst an agricultural setting to see the pride in the primary produce that the people out there have got. It's very similar to how the country people are back home. It made me realise that there's more similarities than there are differences between people from completely different parts of the world.
Guys, help me out here. I was
Definitely.
really looking for the words amazing or wow and whoa as Lincoln was talking to us. Did he see any words like that? I was really gonna cut him off if I heard one more amazing today.
It's we're highlighting the coverage with amazing, but I think wow could be the big word. Lincoln, I think you have something wow to show us. Is there a video that you want to share with the rest of us?
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I hope it's of my ultimate highlight of the trip was at the Jilin Beishan Four Seasons skiing cross-country resort. It's an indoor facility where you can go cross-country skiing all year round, no matter what the weather is outside. We had an ambient temperature of about 22 degrees when we were in the Jilin city. Of course, nice balmy autumn weather as far as the northeast is concerned. But inside, the indoor temperature is permanently -6 degrees, maintaining a perfect powder state to get you cruising down some man-made hills. So that was really fun. And I hope that's what we're going to show in terms of the video. If not, correct me. I'm using the front camera on this Zoom, so I can't actually see what's on the screen. So correct me if I'm wrong. I'm happy to describe them, whatever. I'm happy to talk about my cross-country skiing experience because I've never done anything like that before. I've only done snowboarding on actual mountains, but an indoor cross-country ski center was incredible. That was a great experience. So yeah, let me know what the video is and then I can narrate that for you.
The video is going to be like an entire cover-up of the entire journey, but I do know that when you did go to film the entire the snow place that you went to for skiing and snowboarding and everything,
Yep.
I do know that our colleagues have taken videos of you. So I don't think that is going to be published in our live stream right now, but we are all looking forward for that package to come out soon. All right, so I think
Sounds
we're
wonderful.
ready to
Makes
be
sense.
wowed. We're ready to be wowed. Team, please put the video of our northeastern route.
How long is the video this time? Do you know how long the video is?
Welcome to Dongbei. Manufacturing there. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
I'm gonna get an umbrella.
Such a fun video, mostly because I feel like it was such a good wrap up. Like I was there too, but I feel like a lot of the the moments I don't even remember. But the Northeastern Route was definitely fun, and I really must say Lincoln really impressed us by trying all the different Chinese food. And the thing is, we had a lot of colleagues with us from China, from different regions of China, and they were also really impressed by how he was willing to be open and try out a lot of different things. So Lincoln, if we can ask you, what was your favorite dish on this entire trip? Oh no. Hello.
Just as we get ready to talk about food, he has abandoned us again.
The technology is not helping us, but that's okay.
Myrna,
I'm sure we're gonna come back to Lincoln.
Really, I hope so. Myrna, let me
gosh,
take this
I really did
opportunity.
try everything. I learned a very valuable Chinese expression, 我什么都吃, I'll eat whatever. and and I will eat whatever.
All right. Yeah, he did. He was open to trying a lot of new things, which I thought was amazing. All right. So we have shared the stories from different routes, but now I must give the stage to Zhongshi to share his experience with us.
Myrna, I did want to follow up on what Philip and Tong were saying earlier about preserving cultures, because one of my favorite and most memorable visits this time really was our visit to the Henan Museum, one of the oldest museums here in China that houses over 200,000 artifacts, among them ancient Chinese musical instruments that were unearthed in Henan province that could date back 2,000 years. And of course, you can't play music on those artifacts, but they made replicas of those instruments so that visitors and audiences can have a look and a listen to melodies thousands of years ago. And they put up an orchestra and recreated the music from ancient China. And these tunes were mostly put on when emperors would entertain guests at their banquets. It was very exclusive. You got to be invited to the party to actually hear that music. And today, with what the museum has to offer, their collection of ancient musical instruments, replicas, of course, they're able to recreate those moments just for the visitors, just for the audiences. And it's incredible. The music, they've composed the music actually based some on ancient texts, musical transcripts, but because those transcripts are rarely very complete, they had to, make up for the lost pieces and really come up together with a full tune. So it was incredible to hear that. It was very airy. It was very, it sounded very far, like from the depth of a valley or the top of a mountain. So it was an incredible moment, and I really highly recommend that. It's incredible that they were also able to play some iconic Western music, household names like Olan Sign or Ode to Joy on those ancient Chinese musical instruments. So the blend of Eastern and Western cultures was eye-opening. It was incredible. And I highly recommend people go to the museum and see that, to see how cultural heritage is preserved and is passed on in this very innovative, very interesting way.
Definitely. Thank you for pointing it out. Did you know that speaking of like traditional Chinese instruments, I do know that the Chinese instrument pipa, which is very famous in China, actually back in the like Silk Road times, they said it has maybe similarities to an instrument in the Arab world, what we call oud. One is played this way and then the pipa is played this way. And they said back in the Silk Road, probably the Middle East or like the Arab culture and China had a lot of connections, which is how it is also one of the connecting points, which is music. So as you see, like in Dunhuang, for example, like their their outfits is really similar to the belly dancing outfits of the Middle East. So I think that's the beautiful part about like Chinese culture. Like you can always find a little glimpse of your own culture while you're like doing research. And I'm so glad you shared the point about music. I think that was really, really
the
cool.
interactions of civilizations.
Definitely. And I also know that you had a lot of research and reports that you've shown us about like the sea life there.
Well, that was in Hubei province, because we went to a rare fish conservation center, a beautiful showcase of what they're doing to protect the ecology and environment in Hubei province. Do you have a video on that? Because I can't wait for you to play that.
Let me ask our team for that video. I don't think we have a video on that yet, but we do have one more video left about our journeys, which is from Gas.
Oh, why don't we check that out?
Yeah, Gas, what do you think? Are you ready to play your video?
Yeah, sure.
All right, team, please play Gas's video. We lost Lincoln again. Oh, God. back
Dragon boat
again.
racers testing.
And as Philip confirmed, no, I think Lincoln is still with us here in China. Guys, that was such a good video. We got to see so many different things you experienced. I also got to read the report that you wrote about your journey from start to like from the beginning till the end. So if we can ask you, what was it like working with different teams?
Different teams? Okay, I mean, we were on the eastern route. So the same team basically covered all three areas, if that's what you're trying to say. Is
From
that
different
what you're saying?
departments, sorry.
Okay. Different
Which
departments.
is the best department, guys? Which is the best team? Which is the
I
best
can't say that.
department?
No, we are the best.
Spill the
We are the
tea.
best.
Spill
No.
the tea.
No, to be honest, to be really, really honest, I think I've been on several trips here in China during my time here, and all have been, unique in their own way. But this team is very, very special to me because they were so passionate. I mean, all teams I've worked with are all passionate about this project, but the team's resilience, especially in the typhoon, what we went through, is something that I'll really, really hold to my heart. We all came together and stuck it through. And then, still we strongly went out to cover this project because we want to do a good job. I think that was really, really nice. So, all teams are great. All departments are great. But I have to say, I love my team. They were really, really good.
Which one?
Definitely.
Zhongshi.
Zhongshi not gonna leave this. Zhongshi, how about you? I know you had quite a long
He's not
journey,
letting me
just like
go.
everyone else.
So
ask him back the same question, Zhongshi.
Sorry.
I love all my teams, just to follow up on what Gas said. Although I do have a problem with Jiao Yang, well, she's not here, so we can say that. At the beginning of our coverage, when all of us came on air for the very first time, Jiao Yang said in broad daylight that she found Philip and Tong's route the most interesting one, which I have such a problem with and hold a grudge against. But I think at the end, we all managed to find, the most rewarding and the most fun parts in each of our routes. And I think that's what matters in the end. Each being rewarded with what we discovered on our route. I'm really happy about that.
That's awesome. I'm sure each route thinks like our route was like the funnest. I know that me and Lincoln had a lot of fun when we went to FAW and when we went to the cornfields. And the thing is, why I think these trips are really beautiful because you do get to meet people from different departments and people that, let's say, you only see on the screens or you only bump into, or for example, Mike that I've never met. I didn't even know that he was in China until this trip. So it's really beautiful. If I could highlight the entire trip in one word, I think it would be unity. Just as how the teams work together, all the 5 routes to cover areas of like economics, culture, ecology, all that beautiful things. It's the same as how each place that we went to, we got to see people from different parts of China and different industries and fields also working together to make sure like development of the whole family, I would say the whole country together. So I think for me, unity also summarizes the way China is working right now, but also how the 5 routes are working together to make sure that the one big hope is that we all share our stories in our different ways. And I got to learn a lot from you guys too, from each report and each live stream. So I thought that was really, really fun. And I know that all of you pretty much had so much background research to do and a lot of hard work, but I think the final results were great. What do you guys think?
I think so, definitely.
Thumbs up for unity.
Yay to
An
unity.
enormous amount of
Thumbs up for sure. I think we don't have Lincoln again, but it's okay. I'm sure he'll pop in before we wrap up. All right, I'd love to ask Philip. So as Chintong says, you live in Beijing now, but you actually haven't been in China for so long, right?
I am just coming up on 4.5 months.
How has the journey been?
How's the journey been? The journey's been absolutely fascinating. Tong and I have talked already about the fact that we went off to Dongguan, so that was immediately off to the Gobi Desert. I was a little bit disappointed. I really wanted to see if you know internationally that particular region of the Gobi Desert is extremely well known for producing some of the world's greatest dinosaur fossils. And so I was really hoping we were going to do a story about dinosaur fossils, especially since there was a very big excavation that uncovered a brand new. Sorry, I'm going to stop right now. The drumming you can hear behind us is because they're practicing dragon boat racing, rowing up and down the river. They've been out all morning practicing their best to see how they can do. I hope we were going to do dragons. Instead, we only got to do 1,600-year-old caves, climb the Mingsha Shan Singing Sand Mountain, look at the largest oasis in the middle of the desert, ride dune buggies across the desert. Then after that, we left there, went to Fuling to do an agricultural festival. And then where did we go after that? Chengdu?
Chongqing, I guess.
Chongqing.
And we tried the autonomous.
Yes, there was autonomous taxi driving.
Yeah.
We got to I got to wrestle a sturgeon and get slapped in the face by an 80-kilo fish. But apparently in this video they edited the video together. I know Zhongshe has seen it. Of me getting slapped in the face by this 80-kilo sturgeon as I try to lift it out of the water.
My God.
Loved it. Loved that video.
We sent it off to one of the directors at CGTN, who apparently enjoyed the video so much he watched it about 5 or 6 times in a row. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing, because he enjoyed watching me getting slapped in the face by a fish. Yes, go fish! I've been wanting to do that for months.
It was
now.
a good video, though, Philip. It was great.
Anyway, I've lost the sound from you guys, so I'm going to pass it back to you in case you're getting bored. But there you go. It's a lot of fun.
I feel like the time is not enough for our conversation. I feel like this conversation really needs to
We've lost
continue.
our sound.
So I don't think we have Lincoln on with us. I can't see him anymore online with us right now. But in terms of sharing what's next on our plans, I do know that me and him had a talk, and he said he's really looking forward to snow-capped mountains, and he's really looking forward to skiing on different snow mountains. So hopefully we'll arrange something perhaps with all of us to try out some skiing and snowboarding. But let me ask Gas, what's next on the agenda? Where's your next destination, or where do you hope to go for the rest of the year?
For the rest of the year, I would like to go home first. I think I've done trips for this year. I think so. I've seen this year, I think I've seen a lot of cities and provinces, both doing racing to the future, as well as I had a trip in Wuxi as well as this one. So I think I've seen quite a lot of cities and Chinese cities and provinces this year. It has been a very fantastic experience for me. Also to see Shanghai here, how it's opening up. It's committed to opening up to the world. I think that was also a very interesting experience for me to see how coffee, that's why I'm sitting in a cafe, which I unfortunately couldn't get to explaining to you guys, but how the coffee culture is influencing the whole opening up in China is very interesting. It was we went to visit a coffee harbor and saw the influence of coffee culture bridging the East and the West. So that was interesting. So a lot of takeaways from all the trips that I've done so far. So I think, it's been good. It's been good so far. So next on the agenda, I'm not sure yet. Maybe it's a surprise.
A surprise that I'm sure all our viewers are really looking forward to it. Oh my God, we got Lincoln back.
I cannot believe it.
Can you see me? Can you hear
Lincoln,
me?
are you
I
with
can hear
us?
you guys. I've got the audio connections, all right? Yeah, I got you coming through
We
loud
can
and
hear
clear.
you.
Can you
All right,
see
Lincoln,
me?
we
Oh,
can see you.
wonderful.
Lincoln,
Right?
Great to be back with
we
you.
just
What
did
you
it.
guys don't know is that
Lincoln,
We
we're
just wrapped
loving
up
this
a bit.
on and off relationship with you.
On and off relationship. All right, we just shared a bit about what's on the agenda next, and I did share a bit about you looking forward to skiing and snowboarding in different parts of China. Can you share a bit more about that? Oh no.
Oh dear.
All right, that's okay. Well, to wrap up, Zhongshi, would you please give
this
us
keeps
the honor
making
of
sense
telling us
for you.
what's...
But to look
Lincoln
forward
is-
to,
Lincoln is
yes, after
smiling.
doing the indoor ski resort, I'd like to hit the actual mountains proper here up in the northeast. I've heard some good things about Harbin. I want to check that out.
All right, Harbin is next on the agenda for Lincoln. Oh, I think we said goodbye to him again. Zhongshi, please give us the honor of wrapping up and telling us what's on the agenda next for you.
Talking about the next stop, my good buddy Wei has joined me in the car. That's why you're seeing some mobility with the vehicle. We're driving to a undisclosed destination. I don't even know where because everybody else wanted to stay away from the one guy that has to work during the holiday. So it's just me and my good buddy Wei in the car. And that's kind of where I am. As exciting as this trip has been, I'm perfectly happy with staying put for some time. I'm really happy for Gas. She has traveled a great amount this year, very incredibly well traveled, and beautiful work she has done. And we've all seen the documentaries. It's very beautiful, and I do wish that Philip and Lincoln don't get into a competition of who travels more in China in their first year. Even though I would love to see that race. Yeah, best of luck to everyone, whether they know or do not know where their next stop is. We've got, what, 3 more months to come in 2024?
Yeah, I mean,
We're so excited.
Zhongshe was saying there about a competition between me and Lincoln, and I've got to be honest, I've traveled all over the world. I've reached an age where I'm very, very happy to sit down with a good book and a cat and a cup of tea and just watch some telly. And wherever I get sent next, I have absolutely no idea whether it's Hainan, whether it's Hong Kong, whether it's going off to the northeast. I've got no idea. And yeah, fine, whatever. It'll be great. I'm sure there'll be lots of chili in the food.
Yeah. So tomorrow I'm flying back to Shanghai. So the first thing I'm going to do back in Shanghai is have a nice coffee and have some nice spicy, non-spicy food. That's my hope.
Well,
But
safe
we
trip
really
to
appreciate
you.
this opportunity.
It's been lovely.
Yeah.
It's been really good fun.
Awesome.
I
It's
miss
been
where
lovely
Gas
chatting
was
with all of you
going.
today. I think Gas will be back to Beijing, right?
Yes, tomorrow. I'm leaving Shanghai tomorrow, coming back to Beijing. So, but I'm going to take your advice, Chen Tung, and have non-spicy food and coffee for my last dinner.
All right. Awesome. Well, safe flights to all of you guys. And thank you so much for all the lovely reports and live cross and multimedia live streams that we've seen. Lincoln, since we have you back with us, may you do us the honor of wrapping up this conversation.
I doubt.
Oh,
no.
Speak to you soon.
That's him wrapping up.
That's him wrapping up. Oh, I think we have him again. All right. I think it's safe to say, Lincoln, are you ready to say goodbye? Oh, it's okay. Well, safe trip to all of you guys. And
thank you.
All the videos, all the reports have been fantastic. And literally all our viewers, as we can see online, are having such a good time just being with you on the trip. Entire journey was super fun. And thank you so much for joining our live stream today. Of course, technology wasn't our friend, but we can all sense that you guys have so much stories to share. So it doesn't end here. And hopefully we'll have another chat soon so we can all get to know more about what happened on the trip, off camera especially. Thank you so much to our viewers for tuning in.
Thank you.
And if you
thank you, Mana.
If you missed
thank you.
our very fun
Bye-bye.
conversation, I'm sure you're gonna look back on our CGTN platforms to watch it again. I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of fun. All right, so thank you guys, and we'll see you all back in Beijing or your bases next time we visit. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you for
Bye,
watching.
guys.
Bye.